You want to share your screen?
I will share my screen.
While he is sharing his screen, I'm going to talk. Hey guys, how are you? Hello everyone. Happy Thursday. It's not Tuesday, it's Thursday. Welcome to Adventure Commercial Capital Referral Zoom call. My name is Shelly Miles. I am an author and a commercial mortgage broker and co-founder of our brokerage company, Adventure Commercial Capital, together with my other half, Jerry Miles. You want to wave there for them? I will be bringing him up in a minute to speak. So what our company does is connect real estate investors to the right lenders to help them grow their portfolio. Investors that want to buy multifamily, fix and flip, storage units, hotels, any business that has real estate attached to it, we can connect you as an investor with the right lender. We have a lot of lenders we work with and that are vetted. Each of our lender is unique and each deal is unique, as you guys know. I'm sure you guys have done a lot of underwriting, and we have the skills to connect you to the right lenders. We're like a one-stop shop. We are investors ourselves, and we started this business because we saw a need for honesty and integrity in this space. Jerry, would you like to take over?
I will. So welcome everyone. I am Jerry Miles, and you just heard from my wife, Shelly. So today's agenda, we're gonna go through everything quick. Usually we do a Zoom every other Wednesday, and we'll go anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half on those. Tonight we're going to try to keep it to 30 minutes and just kind of get to the meat and potatoes, and then we'll answer questions. So we'll go through introductions, who we are, and then we'll do our main topic, which is about our referral program. And then we'll tell you what you can do to be able to earn money through referrals. And then we'll have a question and answer. So who are the Miles? I am Jerry. As we told you already, that's Shelly. Our boys there in the back, JJ's on the call. And he's a senior in high school this year. But we are commercial mortgage brokers and the founders of Adventure Commercial Capital. We started Adventure Commercial Capital about 4 years ago. Like Shelly said, we saw a need for honesty and integrity in the space. We're investors ourselves, and we're getting, I would say we weren't treated very well by some of the lenders that we were dealing with, and some of the brokers especially that we were dealing with. And through our investigations, we found a group that trained people how to become commercial lenders. We spent the money on the course. They set us up in business, and here we are 4 years later. Have made it through COVID, and now we're making it through the I don't know what you would call this season that we're in now with the way the interest rates have gone up, but we've made it through this, and we're still trucking. So, and it's a good day for us because we had a closing today. So it's always good to have a closing. So this call is a part of the Multifamily Freedom Chasers. The Multifamily Freedom Chasers, anyone who's not familiar with them, you need to get familiar with them. We are part of the leadership team of the Multifamily Freedom Chasers, and we do educational Zoom calls Sunday through Wednesdays every week. We do ours every other Wednesday, and we talk about the debt market and different topics about, financing commercial real estate. So, but from Sundays, we have broker talks and asset management talks on Mondays, and Tuesdays we do napkin underwriting, and then we have multifamily foundations, and then our financing Zoom on Wednesdays. So the content and things that you'll get through this program, we have been a part of other groups and spent 20 and 40 and $1,000 a year for mentorships and things in the multifamily space. What you get here for free, I think is just as good or better than any of those. So find Multifamily Freedom Chasers on Facebook and join the Facebook community and be a part of the show. So
Actually, the link is in the chat. If you want to click on it, that's the Facebook link. You guys will get invites to all these events once you are part of the Facebook community.
great. All right. Our contact info is right here. Feel free to give us a call. That is a link to my Hi Hello card. And you can send me your contact info through that as well. So you just take a picture of the digital link there, the QR code, and it will take you to my Hi Hello page. And that is my cell phone number. And that is mine and Shelly's email addresses on there. So take screenshots, whatever you want to do with it. And we'll put it back up at the end if anybody missed it. So what is a referral program? It's just word of mouth marketing. So you tell your friends and family, people that you know that might need real estate funding, introduce them to us, and we help them, and we will pay you a fee. It's that simple. So yeah, that's
It's an introduction.
And we'll go through the details of kind of what we can do as lenders, and then also how we like to have the introductions and that kind of thing too. So first things first here, we can lend on smaller assets and things as well. Fix and flips, the rehab, the rents, and then also bridge lending on 1 to 4, and then smaller multifamilies as well. But on the fix and flip side, we can go up to 90% of the purchase price, and then we'll fund all of the construction. So we've got some really good programs there. And then we have long-term 30-year amortized, single family rental to 4 family rentals, and on up from there. This here is probably the program I get the most excited about. It's sorry, fire alarm in our house is going off. There it is. All right.
There's other people in the house. It's taken care of. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Anyway, this program here is a program I'm the most excited about that we have to offer currently. It is for development of commercial real estate projects. It can be for business acquisitions in all types of different industries. This is a line of credit. So it's a 5-year term line of credit to build a big project or a big rehab project, starting at 20 million. They advertise it goes to 2 billion. But this particular lender just funded a deal for 17 billion. So there's really no cap to what they can do. They'll fund 100% of the project, land cost and everything. It says 20 to 35% down. They're actually raising that to a minimum of 30. So it'll be 30 to 35% down once the first of the year starts. But that doesn't go towards the actual cost of the project. So if it's a $100 million project, you need to come with 30 million in cash, and that cash acts as an interest reserve account for the life of the loan. So it's a 5-year loan. If it's a 10% rate or whatever it is, simple interest, that first 10 million will go for the first years of interest payments. The second 10 will go, and then that allows you to be able to get the development done without having all the out-of-pocket expenses of paying those interest payments and the carrying costs and all that kind of stuff through the project. So it's a really nice program. And I really haven't seen anything that matches it. Interest rates on that are anywhere from 7.5% to 10.5%, depending on the deal. Yeah, we have a couple of them in the works right now with this product. But this here is probably our most competitive product out of any of the products we have. There's not many people that have a product that can do what this one does. So, current
Would that
rate.
also, oh, sorry. I didn't know
Yeah.
how you want us to go about asking questions. Did you want us to raise our hand, or we're waiting till the end of the whole slide deck to do a Q&A? I missed
Yeah,
that.
we'll do a Q&A at the end if you don't mind. We'll just, yeah.
Sounds good.
Yep.
And we can go back to whatever slide he was talking about.
Yep,
If you
for
have
sure.
on that slide.
Yes, we can. So these are current, Freddie and Fannie rates. This is a small balance. So anything from $1 million to $7.5 million when you're looking at multifamily. So you got the 80%, 1.2 DSCR, 65%, 1.4 DSCR. This is the different, different rates for the different, loan to cost or loan to value. So
Yeah, this one was just updated on the 14th, so 2 days ago.
yeah, and the rates have come down a little bit just the last 2 days since the CPI numbers came out. So the next page here, this is how we're in Grant Cardone's real estate club. A guy that works for Grant that was part of his Cardone Capital team introduced me to a customer or a potential customer for us at one point. And this is how he did the introduction. And this is exactly how I would have asked people to do introductions. Can be done through a text message or an email or whatever, but he said, "Hey, Casey, meet Jerry Miles. He specializes in helping real estate investors obtain financing." And then they said, "Jerry, meet Casey. He has a property in Tennessee under contract, but needs debt financing to wrap the deal up. I thought you guys would be great to connect you both. Have a great day." And then he put his name, Patrick. So that's all I need, from anybody that is, got a referral partner. If you're a realtor or you're a CPA or whatever you do, or just an investor and you have investor friends, this is all I need with a customer. And, we will.
I suggest you do a text or an email.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Yep. I am on top of my texts and I'm on top of my emails. Other forms, like people reach out on Instagram and Facebook and WhatsApp and different things. It might be a few days before I see those messages. So text and email if you want to get a hold of me quickly. So I will let you take this part. Shelly does all of the organization of everything in our business. And so when you're working on getting paid for your referrals, she is the one that will take care of that. So I will let you go ahead on this page.
Yeah, so we do have a referral agreement, and it's actually for your benefit, for your comfort, and it was written up by a lawyer. But I mean, obviously I changed some stuff to match our names and dates and stuff. So we do have that. Whenever you're actually, I have on here, like whenever you feel comfortable to send it. But I think when you have somebody that you've introduced us to and it's getting ready to be in the pipeline, I think then you should send me your information and say, hey, that was my guy. And I'll keep track of it as well from the beginning. And then before I send out the referral agreement, just send me an email. And before I send out the referral agreement, what I would need from you is your name, your business name, if you have a business name, your title, and your address. That's it. And I'll put it on the referral program. I'm sorry, on the referral agreement, and I will email it back to you. You sign it and then you send it back to me, and then we'll get a W-9 from you as well. So if you have a W-9, you just send it over to me. If you don't have one, I do have a blank one that I can send to you. And that's it.
All right, great. Thank you.
Just keeping it simple.
Yep. That's it. So here's how we get paid. So our commission, for the different loan amounts, $100,000 to $300,000 deals, we charge 3 points.
And that
300,000.
may vary as well, because sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes it's 2 points.
Yeah, sometimes those are 2, sometimes 3. And then 300,000 to 2 million, we charge 2 points. Sometimes we'll go down off of the 2 million. We'll go a little lower on the 2 points. We'll go to 1 point at 1.5. It just depends on the deal and the customer and what's going on. 2 million plus, we get paid 1 point. So on a $2 million deal, the payment to us is $20,000 on 1 point. So 2 points would be 40,000. So, and
these are only for referrals. These are not for your deals. If you guys have a deal and you bring it to us, we can't pay you from that.
Yeah.
But we do pay if you do refer somebody, but it is good to have an experience with us to say, hey, I've experienced them, you should go to them. So that's your incentive.
Yep. So on a $500,000 loan, as you see down in the bottom left corner, we would get paid 2 points. So the commission on a $500,000 loan would be $10,000. At the beginning, we take out a processing fee of 10%. So that takes $1,000 off. And then a referral partner's fee is paid of 20% on the remaining 9,000. So then you would get paid $1,800 on that $500,000 loan for just connecting us and making the introduction. So probably the easiest $1,800 you'd ever make. So
and we don't mind that you call and check up on the progress of the loan. We have a guy that we work with that he calls every so often, every 2 weeks, once a month. I don't know how often he calls, but it's like every 2 weeks or something.
I talk to him sometimes every other day.
Yeah, and he calls, well, he calls you for other stuff too, other than that. But then he throws in, hey, how's that deal going? Are we getting anywhere? And he, just calls to check up on it, just to see, and it's okay to do that. We don't mind.
Yep. So on a $5 million loan, we would get 1 point or 1%. Commission would be $50,000. 10% processing fee comes out of $5,000. The referral partner's fee is 20% of the remainder, or $9,000. And just a second. Okay. So, and then on a $50 million deal, it'd be $500,000 payout to us. The processing fee comes out of 10%. And then the referral partner receives, it's blocked on my screen, but I believe it's $90,000.
90,000, sorry.
Yeah. So that's not a bad fee for making an introduction. So we look forward to paying some of you guys $90,000 for a $50 million deal. So question and answers. Anybody has a question, go ahead, and we don't have too many of us on here, so you can probably just go ahead and speak it out if you'd like.
So for your commercial loans, are they also funding for storage units?
Yes.
Storage construction, new construction?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Perfect.
I've got a question as well.
Yeah.
So what would we'd be considered like independent contractors, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess, are there any laws like like, is it more just like, how do I want to word it? Like people we have like a relationship with, or could we actually like put out like advertisement or anything like that? Or
Yeah, you could put out advertisement. There's you could do whatever you want to do. You know, there is really no laws when it comes to commercial finance brokers and how they conduct business. You know, if we're talking like residential mortgages, there's books and books of laws, and every state's different and all that. When it comes to commercial lending, there is no laws as far as how we can pay people, what we can get paid, or anything else. So
okay, and how about like what should the wording look like? I guess
as
what
far
would that
as if you're making an introduction, or if
Yeah,
you're
that,
just
or
looking.
let's say I put a post out or something. Would I just like call myself a referral partner or
Well, I mean, you can say, hey, I know a guy that is really good at funding real estate. If you're an investor, just treat it like you don't want to probably don't want to treat it like you're in business. Treat it like, hey, I know this guy. Why don't you let me introduce you?
Mhm, mhm. Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. So, thank
There,
you.
there's not really nothing's coming to my mind right this second to tell you, but just
Okay,
hey, I know a guy. Why don't you give me a call? Let me introduce you.
sounds good.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I'll put our contact info back up here.
Yeah, no, that was a great question, Kyle. I think we'll probably do something like that on the next Zoom call, like talk about that.
Mhm.
I'm glad he brought that up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of wild because we're dealing with these huge numbers and things, and there's really no regulation on it. But somebody that's writing a $150,000 mortgage, there's endless amounts of laws and everything else, on top of them with it. So it's kind of
Mhm.
wild, but
Gotcha.
um,
Yeah, I was kind of my mind went there because well, in the syndication space, like the SEC is really like, I guess this wouldn't really be similar to that, but
yeah, yeah,
they
those, I mean, because
they
you're
want to know.
raising money from people,
Yeah.
you know, um, we're an arm of the bank, and we're connecting people with the lending sources. The bank itself and the lenders themselves. As we grow our business, we plan to raise a fund and have start with some bridge programs and things to help people purchase real estate. Um, and we'll have to deal with that with our own fund. But as far as a broker goes, there's really no laws regulating them. Now, if you're in California or you're doing business in California, there gets to be some nuances. But then once again, we're dealing with a lender that is licensed in California generally when we do a California deal, and we don't have to worry about it ourselves personally as a broker. So
Okay.
they're working on the legislation, but they just haven't gotten it together yet. So December 6th, I'll tell everybody that's here, we're doing a Zoom. It'll be a Wednesday, or December 16th. Is it the 6th or 16th?
Oh my, I think that was wrong. It's December 6th.
Yeah, December 6th.
I did that really quick.
These are some friends of ours. They've got 270 million in assets under management. And then our LPs on like even more deals than that. But they're going to be on, and we're going to be talking about how to grow your portfolio in 2024. That'll be a good call. So
Yeah, that's our topic because on the 22nd or the 23rd. I don't know when the next Wednesday is. When we're scheduled for our call, we've canceled it. I think it's the 22nd because I think Thursday is at Thanksgiving. It's the 23rd, but we canceled our call since it's the day before Thanksgiving. If you guys have any more questions, just feel free to jump in or raise your hand or whatever, but I'm going to talk by the time being. And that one's canceled, the one right before Thanksgiving, but our next call is December 6th, not 16th at 8 p.m. And Chris and Marcella will be on there. Our topic is how to grow your portfolio in 2024, and what better to have two high-level experienced people on there to talk about it instead of us.
And in 2020, I believe they had, like, at the beginning of 2020, they were at like 50 units. And then, you know, and just from like 2020 to now, they've, you know, hit 1,750 or plus units. And then since they wrote this up, they've even bought some trailer parks and things. So some mobile home parks.
Yeah, they're super active in the space. So
Right. Yeah.
Super active.
Yep. So
anyways, if anybody else do not have any more questions, I guess we'll wrap this up.
yeah.
I know it's a short Zoom. We're not used to these short Zooms.
Yeah.
Go ahead and put the Zoom topic up there again. The one right before this.
Oh, okay. There we go.
There it is. November 22nd. There will be no call because Thanksgiving is the day after that. And December 6th is when we'll have Chris and Marcella on. We've never had a guest on before. This is our first time. We've done all of our Zoom calls on our own, but I figured, you know, this one will be good for them to jump in and share their experience
Of growing
and
the
their
portfolio.
knowledge.
Yeah.
And they have a lot more. That's just a few things I just chose from their bio to put on there, but they do a lot.
Yeah.
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 Are you guys also doing private money lending?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. That's good to know. Yeah, we'll definitely connect.
Yep.
That's a good question. Why don't you go ahead and list out all the stuff we do, Jerry, so everybody will hear.
Well, right now, just some of the deals that we've got in the works. There's a oceanfront resort that we're working on funding, and it'll be private money. It'll be a private bridge loan for $14.5 million for rehab. It's a 40-unit condo complex. It was a
Was it an apartment complex?
no, it's a complex that they did what do they call it, the where you buy a week
Oh, timeshare.
timeshare. It was a timeshare property, and they're turning it into condos. So we're working on funding that one. We're working on funding the purchase of an e-commerce business. So it's a business acquisition, and we're working on the business acquisition of a printing company in Miami. We just closed a multifamily deal today that was through a private lender. That was as a deal in Houston. We're funding some cannabis projects, some cultivation. One of them is a $22 million big grow facility they're building in New Jersey. And we've got one been working on, not sure if it's going to be able to close. It's a sugar purchase between Ghana and the country of Brazil. So we're actually working on getting a standby letter of credit for them, so they don't trust each other enough for one of them to put product on a ship and drive it across the ocean. And then the other one to pay them when it gets there. And they need a go between the two countries, and we're working on becoming that. So we got a bunch of deals in the works.
Yeah, but our main niche is real estate, but we also have an SBA we're working on, and we have worked on a couple more SBAs before, but we've got one we're working on right now, an acquisition. But no, a couple of those he mentioned are actually referrals, and somebody's going to get paid out of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 14.5 million is a referral from my wife's sister, and she'll get paid the 20% of the 140,000, on that deal. So she'll be happy. If we can get it closed before Christmas, she'll be real happy. So
Yeah.
so
So if you don't mind me asking more questions in the side of private money lending,
yeah,
but so like, would you cover gap funding?
we have some options for gap funding, but those are getting fewer and farther between as the market's kind of gone downhill. A lot of the people that have funded bridge debt, private lenders, the gap funders, all these different ones, a lot of them right now, if they were funding a year ago, their money's tied up in deals right now, and these deals are just sitting there kind of in limbo. You got to figure a $10 million deal. If someone bought a $10 million deal last year, let's say they got $7 million in bridge debt or private money on it. Well, that private money now is coming due to where the lender is saying, hey, we got to get out of this loan. You had a year to do what you had to do. Well, now because interest rates have gone up so much, the value of that property isn't 10 million anymore. When they go to refinance, they were probably planning to refi for 7.5 or 8 million. Well, now because the interest rates have gone up so much, that same 8 million they were planning to refi into is now maybe 5 million is all they can refinance that property for. So to get out of this loan, they've got to come up with another $2 million. As an example, I've seen this same example play out in all different loan amounts and purchase amounts over the last 6 months. I've seen it over and over, week after week. I've seen a different deal every week that looks just like this, and they just, they either have to come up with the 2 million, or they got to let it go back to the bridge lender. And now the bridge lender is going to have to figure out, how am I going to get rid of, I need to get rid of this property, or do I want to manage the property? What do I want to do? But the bridge lenders, right now, a lot of them have all their money is out in deals right now. And these deals are they're either not selling and paying off the bridge, or they're just holding right now and hoping that the rates will, the season of high rates will come back down and they can get their money back out of the deal. So a lot of the bridge lenders that were around the last 2 years are kind of out of money. I mean, they have money in the market, but they don't have new money to put back in the market because these deals aren't recycling the way they planned. So when it comes to the gap funders, there's some new ones coming up and things, but a lot of them just don't have the capital right now to put out because it's already in deals, and those deals aren't recycling. Now, when we're talking gap funding, that's usually for the smaller amounts, and those are the ones that are hurting worse. But like when we get to the bigger deals, 50 million plus, I have a lot more options as far as mezzanine, or coming in with some preferred equity, or something along those lines, to be able to help out with some of the equity raise. But on the smaller deals, it's getting really tough. People come to me every day for looking for money for the smaller deals. For they're trying to buy 2 million and they want to raise 5, needing to raise 5 million, and they're looking for somebody to fund half of that, or something along those lines. And it's just not out there as far as in the market. I mean, short of a wealthy uncle, or something like that, or somebody that just has cash on hand that they want to put it out. But like I said, a lot of those guys that were investing in real estate have their money in deals already, and the money's just not come back out of the deal yet. So
Okay, yeah, for sure, that makes sense.
yeah,
And I guess I should have been a little more specific with my question too.
go ahead.
'Cause I guess you're explaining more for like the multifamily commercial type of gap
Yeah.
funding, but like on the residential, on the single family side, like if it's just going to be covering obviously whatever the LTV loan isn't going to be covering, and they're going to get their 100% funding on their construction, but obviously, I mean, you know what a gap is, but for those who
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah, I don't have anybody that I deal with that does them for the for single families and the like the fix and flip range and stuff. Yeah, I don't have anybody for those.
Oh, okay, it's
So
all good.
yeah, usually, I mean, generally we're not messing. We don't really mess with any loan amounts under 100,000. It's just, the lenders that are lending on those, on the smaller ones, are more localized. We have more of a national, kind of presence and looking nationally at deals. We have guys here. We're in the Cincinnati area, and there's guys here locally that lend. They'll lend 20,000 here, 15,000 there, and that kind of thing. There's just not enough room for a broker to get involved in that process usually, and then for the broker to have it be worth his while. That $20,000 deal or the gap funding for a $100,000 purchase is is not really worth the time when you could be going and funding something with a couple more zeros behind it. So now the guys that do it locally, we talked to a guy at a local real estate meetup here, and he kills it. He funds fix and flips out of his own pocket. He's an older guy that has a lot of property and things, but he is lending 100% on fix and flips to like contractors and different ones that he knows that don't have any money, don't have credit, and he just takes the mortgage or takes the lien on the property, and he'll lend. I think he said it 12 to 14%, but he doesn't do it per year. He does it per 6 months. So if they take a year to do the deal, I mean, he's getting 24, sometimes 28% on his money every year on this money he's lending out. So if you can get money like that, it makes sense to do the smaller amounts. And if you're local, but so for a broker to be involved still, it just doesn't make sense financially for the borrowers, because then they're paying out money to a broker. The bigger ones, there's more cushion there, and we're needed more on the bigger ones. So
I actually thought of a couple questions if you still have time.
yeah, go ahead.
So the first one, would you mind going back to the slide with so that product you were talking about, the one
The development.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I just wanted to take a screenshot of that.
Yeah, for sure.
And the second question was, is it still realistic to get like 70% LTV like for a multifamily like agency debt?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, it in the seller's minds, for you to be getting to that purchase price right now, I've not seen it happen too often. The seller's got to come off their numbers to get to that 70%. And it really, if you're not at that 70%, your cash on cash and, all those things, all those other metrics really don't line up and do well, So, but yeah, we've seen some deals that have been under contract at that range. We had one in Texas not too long ago. I think they were 70% plus. I forget the exact numbers, but they were under contract on a property, and it was really nice numbers. It was a nice deal for them. And when the underwriting came back, the taxes were, I can't remember the exact number, it's like 70 or 80,000 more per year than what was underwritten originally, the real estate taxes. And it killed the deal. The sellers said, no, the buyers came back to the sellers and said, hey, this number's too high. We're going to have to ask for a little bit more money off. They were trying to retrade a little bit, and the sellers backed out. And so it didn't sell. But yeah, there's, when you can get to that point on deals, and I think we're going to get to that point here over the next year, if the rates stay up like they are, I think we'll get to that point in the next year where deals are selling at that, where you can get that, 70% loan to value, because it's going to get harder and harder to raise money, and as it gets harder and harder to raise money, the deals aren't just, they're going to sit there and they're not going to sell. As we see more and more news stories of, different people losing money on real estate deals. I mean, when you have a deal, there's a guy that we know that recently had to give a property back to the bank, $51 million loan. He had to give it back to the bank because he didn't meet his debt service coverage that he was required to meet through the agencies. Well, the new value of that property and things, because the NOI was so much lower because of the higher taxes, the higher insurance, the higher interest rates, and all these things that were getting this guy on this property. The value just got really, it got pushed way down, and you got to figure $51 million loan. He probably had, between 20 and $30 million dollars of equity, LPs out there. I would say most of that LP money was gone. And it just vanished overnight. It was there one day and it gone the next. And when those kind of stories start hitting the mainstream media and people start seeing these stories on their nightly news and things, it's going to get really tough to raise money. So I think that's just another domino to fall to really drop the pricing of real estate, because as it gets harder to raise money, deals aren't going to sell, so. But that's good, because it's going to bring pricing down for investors. So you got to, I mean, when bad things happen, it's good for somebody and not good for another, so.
Mm-hmm.
And the market needs a recycle, kind of like this. It needs to chill out a little bit. And, when that happens, I mean, people get hurt, and it's I don't want to see anybody lose money. And I mean, I'm sure people have millions of dollars in some of these deals that they're losing, and, we'll never see again, and I feel bad for them, but that's the way the market goes. And you feel bad for them, but, I forget who the saying, who said the saying, but they say, it was based on stocks and different things, but they said, buy when there's blood in the streets. Even if it's your own blood, buy when there's blood, buy when there's blood in the streets. So
Grant Cardone said that.
Yeah, he said it, but it was somebody else's quote originally.
Oh,
So, yeah. JD Rockefeller or somebody, one of them older guys. But,
all right. Do you guys want to take a screenshot of any other slides? And this recording is going to be posted on the Freedom Chasers Facebook page, so you guys can have access to it if you're on there. If not, you can email me and I will try to send it to you.
Yep. And says we will do this Zoom once a month to keep everyone in the loop and answer any questions, but we will not do one next month, being Christmas month and the holidays.
Warren Buffett. He said Warren Buffett said that, maybe.
Warren Buffett, okay, yeah.
Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful, right?
Yep. Oh yeah, that's right. So
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for showing up and asking questions, and hopefully we answered your questions, and we will see you guys next time. January, I think we're going to have one for the New Year's resolution people. So feel free to join it. Have a good night.
Oh, good. Yeah,
Thanks,
good night
guys.
as well.
not everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good.
I will leave you guys with some music.
Oh, nobody left.
When I walk through the door, I'm talking cash flow. And if you know, like I know, you getting cash flow. Rule one, getting money, never losing no. But I'm broke, but now I'm living at it. They just count my zeros and some decimals. And I wish you would try to test me, yo. You should listen to the lesson, no. Masterminds out of Mexico, I invested though when I let it grow. Pentiments I got a pocket for. Raise your income and your taxes low. Spend it right and then invest some more. And if you don't believe me, ask my doctor.